Metaverse action is heating up with South Korea hoping to be at the top of the game. Welcome to the Daily Forkast, January 21st, 2022. I'm Megha Chaddah of Foxconn News covering all things blockchain. South Korea's Science Ministry has announced a strategy envisioning the country as a global metaverse leader. We'll take a look at that story and a whole lot more coming right up. Let's get you up to speed from Asia to the world. Let's kick off with some of the top stories out of Asia today. First up, Russia's central bank has called for a ban on crypto and crypto-related activities. In a webcast, the bank's director of financial stability described cryptocurrency as a pyramid scheme and that it is destabilizing because its growth is driven primarily by speculation. That could hit the mining sector hard as, according to a Cambridge University index, Russia is the world's third largest Bitcoin miner, responsible for 11% of the monthly hash rate share. It also comes amid wider moves across Asia to clamp down on crypto. Earlier this month, the State Bank of Pakistan recommended a ban on the use of crypto, while the Monetary Authority of Singapore issued guidelines restricting promotion of crypto services. And in the face of headwinds from Russia, Bitcoin reacted by dropping below the $40,000 mark for the second time in 2 weeks. According to CoinMarketCap, Bitcoin lost over 7.5% in 24 hours and was trading at just over $38,700 Friday midday Asia time, while the total crypto market cap has remained below $2 trillion since early January. Over in Taiwan, the chairman of computer hardware manufacturer Foxconn says 2022 is the first year of the metaverse for the company. According to Taiwan's Economic Daily News, Yong Liu said the company, which supplies iPhones for Apple, is to develop wearable devices, data centers, semiconductors, and content for the metaverse. Earlier this month, Foxconn subsidiary Enocon said it was set to receive almost $40 million worth of investment from Google, with the two planning to cooperate on metaverse projects in Taiwan. You can find those stories and lots more at Forecast.news. Sticking with Asian metaverse developments then, South Korea's Science Ministry says it envisions the country becoming a top 5 metaverse leader by 2026. Forecast News' Danny Park reports.
South Korea's Science Ministry has announced a 5-year strategy to lead the global metaverse market. Among the goals are to foster 220 metaverse companies that can earn revenues of over 5 billion Korean won, or about $4.2 million, to have 40,000 professionals in the field and discover 50 examples of the metaverse being put to good use, such as by creating social value. The ministry's research also revealed some interesting details.
모기업이 운영하고 있는 메타버스에서는 벌써 150만 명 이상이 유의미한 경제적인 수익을 가져가고 있는 그런 것들을 알게 되었습니다. 그래서
Meanwhile, the government will support development of core technologies as well as protecting users from possible issues like sexual harassment or exploitation by setting guidelines for all companies to follow. Meta, which was formerly known as Facebook, recently said South Korea is best suited for the metaverse to thrive in, given the environment for hardware manufacturing and content creation. Seems like Korea could already be well on track to achieve its metaverse goals. For Forecast News, I'm Danny Park.
The arrival of virtual banking and internet-powered money transfer systems changed the face of banking dramatically over the last few decades. Who better to talk about that and all things disintermediation than Adrian Brink, co-founder of Anoma, a protocol that enables trading of any kind of digital assets among any number of parties with full zero-knowledge privacy. Great seeing you again, Adrian.
Great to be back.
Adrian, now the traditional financial systems operate and are regulated within defined geographical boundaries. Given this, can they truly be neutral?
So that you have to make a distinction, right? Within, for example, the banking system in Switzerland or the banking system in the US, and yes, they operate within their local geographies and local regulatory environment. And I think that's also the right approach. The problem becomes, how do you connect multiple sovereign systems? And so traditionally or even right now, we use the SWIFT system for example, for banks to connect to banks in other jurisdictions. The problem is SWIFT was designed to be neutral because people realized in the 70s that it's a really important characteristic that you have a neutral base layer via which you can conduct international transactions. This has become under pressure, mostly due to the US government imposing sanctions and using the banking system to enforce them, though.
Now, what impact do you see on privacy preservation as we transition to digital currencies?
I think it's going to be really, really important to build privacy-preserving technology because privacy is a fundamental human right and is most likely a cornerstone of sort of a functioning governance structure and a functioning democracy. The problem is, as we're transitioning away from traditional financial systems more towards digital ones, we are losing a lot of privacy. This gets even worse when you're starting to talk about public blockchains and the privacy guarantees that those offer. But purely moving everything onto a Visa or MasterCard system just means that there is someone that can control and analyze hundreds of millions of data points every day, which was completely infeasible to do even 40 years ago. So it's a very drastic change that we're conducting right now by moving to digital financial systems, and we should be very careful about the privacy guarantees that we're building into them.
And lastly, a lot of people believe that their digital financial footprint is masked and safe by default. Is that correct?
No. The existing transparent digital footprint on, let's say, a blockchain is completely public. Yes, you may not be able to associate addresses with direct names, but once you have a couple of hundreds of thousands of data points, you start cross-referencing this to IP addresses that have actually submitted these transactions, and you get a very, very good picture of who these people are and what kind of transactions they're conducting. And the problem actually is in the current realm that anyone can do this kind of analysis. As in, anyone with an internet connection can just start scraping this data and run a global financial surveillance program. In the past, this was reserved to a couple of nation states that can really conduct this, but specifically the current technology that we're building in the public blockchain space is very, very vulnerable to this kind of big data analysis. And I think this is something that we're going to have to start fixing in 2022 and beyond in order to make these systems really usable for the general public.
Well, with greater decentralization comes greater data security risks. Adrian, thanks so much for the insight. And that's the Daily Forkast from our vantage point right here in Asia. Hit like, hit subscribe, appreciate it always. Help us reach our goal to reach more of you. For more, visit forecast.news. I'm Megha Chaddah. Until next time.